told this story a few times. The reason I moved here was for love. And so I fell in love with this guy named Nathan Dees, and we've been together for about 12 years. And so in falling in love with this person, I also was moved to Macon, Georgia, because it was the better choice for our lives. That he has two kids who are now adults, but at the time they were like 10 and 14, and it seemed to make more sense that I would be the one to move from New York, which Rachel mentioned that I sometimes have a New York accent on occasion. It comes out when I'm tired and I'm stressed, or if I'm just mad, I'll just say, fuck you, motherfucker. Yeah, when I'm passionate, things will happen. But in any case, I moved to Macon for love, and then I fell in love with Macon. And so while we are building this house, and we live on, when I first moved here, we lived on Orange Street in what we call the Wagon Wheel House. And the Wagon Wheel House, the first few years was super important to me because I moved here with no friends. So the beautiful thing about Macon is you can make a friend if there's a porch and a glass of wine, and that will just happen, right? So the Wagon Wheel House became my lifeblood, and we would have lots of porch time, and lots of energy would be coming through, and not only my porch, but all of the porches in Macon. I was able to just create this bountiful experience of beautiful people. So about 5 years in 2011, the house behind us was owned by the Frosses, and the Frosses, the husband had died, but right before I moved to Macon, and the wife died shortly after I moved to Macon. So in 2011, Mrs. Frost passed away, and her children decided that the house was no longer going to be their house, but they were going to sell it as quickly as possible. So they were never going to do it while Mom was alive, because I was pretty respectful. They totally did that. And so basically at some point, Nathan said, hey, so this house is for sale for super cheap. Do you want it? And I was like, yeah, I absolutely want a big kid house. Let's do that. So he buys it for stupid cheap, but then you realize that it's never really stupid cheap when you have to tear out everything and then rebuild this house, right? So that's what we did. So we lived at the Wagon Wheel House for 2 years. At some point, he decided that he was going to do the electric in the house, which is a terrible idea because he's a computer programmer, not an electrician. So he bought all the stuff, and then I finally said one day, listen, either we're moving in this house or you and your new girlfriend can buy that house over there. So anyways, we hire this contractor, we build the house, and we have this day where we demolish all of the walls, and then all of the neighbors come over because they're super excited for us. And then it takes about 1.5 years for us to build the walls and move doorways. And I was super stubborn about keeping as much of the house that was there and keeping whatever materials we could. So our floor is our ceiling in our kitchen. So it was the floor, and now it's our ceiling in our kitchen. That's how much our contractor kept everything. We have these weird lap panels in our front door or in our back doorway. Who even knows? It looks like it was the outside of the house, but it's really the inside of the house. But yeah. Anyways, it's all there. It's all just there, just in different kind of places. And so over the last 4 or 5 years, I guess we've been there 4 years now, this house has created an amazing number of memories in addition to what had happened at the Wagon Wheel House. So now we have a big kid house, and so every once in a while our nephew stays with us, and he has his own bedroom, and we have couch surfers that come, and if you know what couch surfing is, so basically people come and they stay at your house for free, and then you show them around and you show them how awesome you love your house, and then they stay with you for a few days for free. We've hosted a wedding at our house. So we hosted Angel Collins, who's actually one of the early founders of Storytellers. We hosted her wedding in my living room, right? Thank you. While it was being built, I did this really cool project called the Men of In-Town Macon calendar. And two of those pictures, one was, the dogs that play poker? It was a bunch of men in town that were sitting around playing poker. They were super hot, by the way. And also Josh Rogers did a sitting at our house, and Marianne Bates did one of those pictures. So my walls in my house, while we sort of took them down and rebuilt them, and we've had amazing things happen there. But also Nathan and I have sort of built a life there. It's our home. It's where my dog knows where she lives now, right? Like she knows where she used to think that she lived across the way, but now she lives at our house, so she's super excited about that. So what I think my walls would say is, bring all the love, bring all the people. I'll keep you warm and safe, and hold your memories. And that is my story. Thank you.